guys, it is Aoife from Fred We Died Laughing, and I'm here to do a book review today. So I received an Almond for a Parrot by Wray Delaney off HarperCollins for review. I obviously got this for free for an honest review. Wray Delaney is actually a pen name. This is actually Sally Gardner, who writes a lot of children's books, so some people may know Sally Gardner. This is her first book for adults. This is about a young girl called Tully Trugood who grows up to be a kind of high-class prostitute in London in the 1750s, and we first learn of Tully when she is in prison for murder, and we don't know much. We just know that she's been accused of murder, and we also know that she is some kind of prostitute, and she starts to tell her story from the time she was very young, and we learn about kind of her troubled childhood, how she ended up kind of becoming a prostitute, the men that she meets, the men she fell in love with, and eventually up to the point of where she's been accused of murder. I really enjoyed this book. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but there were some twists and turns in this that I really didn't expect. At first, Tully's voice seemed very kind of proper to me, and just the way she was speaking to the reader, because she's supposed to be kind of telling the story to a certain someone. So at first the way she was speaking threw me off just a little bit, because it's not the way like people would speak today. But I very quickly got used to it, and then it devolved more into just like normal speech and normal kind of the way books are written, I guess. If I can say that in like a better way, but you know what I mean. We really kind of get to know Tully just from the time she was very young, and we kind of grow up with her a little bit. We learn that she didn't have such a good childhood, and that the house that she ends up with is kind of like a high class kind of whorehouse, I guess. It kind of becomes more of a refuge for her. We learn why this kind of profession is one that she chose for herself, and we learn kind of how she wants to be her own mistress, and this is one of the reasons she thinks that she'll be able to eventually do that for herself. The chapters in this book are quite short, and because of that the book is really easy to fly through. The first day I think I read 15 chapters like all in one go, because I was just able to fly through the book, and then again it didn't take me very long to get like another 10 chapters in, and I just really wanted to turn those pages, because I was just so intrigued by Tully's story and just this different kind of life to the way like people live now. I will say, if anyone has watched the show Harlots, I think it's on Hulu, which is actually about prostitutes in London. I think that's the 1800s, but it's very similar actually to some of the stuff that's going on in here, and it's the same kind of circle. So I say if you like that book, or if you like that TV show, you would love this book, and I loved that TV show, so I really enjoyed this book. And I just thought it was really interesting, because Tully's clients, they aren't, like, she is high class, and the people that she is sleeping with, they are dukes and lords and men with a lot of money. So a lot of the time she is actually being cared for a lot, and she's being pampered, and it was just a very like interesting take on, you normally hear prostitution, you think of a woman who's very down and out, and that is not Tully at all. She is very knows herself. She is actually thought of very highly in some societies, in some society circles I should say. She is famous for different things, and I just really enjoyed just seeing her kind of rise above everyone else and really holding her head up high and knowing what she was worth. There was a kind of supernatural magical twist in this that I wasn't really expecting, and really threw me for a loop at first when I was reading it, but I eventually grew to really like it, and it kind of becomes like a really integral part of the story as well. This talent of Tully's really helps her out in a lot of tricky spots throughout her career, and I just really enjoyed how that was first brought up, because at first I didn't realise what she was doing, and then it kind of becomes more obvious that this isn't actually normal, that it's a little bit of magic that she's able to do, and I just loved that. I just thought it was really interesting, and it just kind of brought a little bit of a spark to the story. The writing in this, like, it's funny, because even though obviously Tully's a prostitute, so there are a lot of scenes in this that would be sex scenes, but because of the way Tully speaks, and more so the way she writes her story, she gives names to different like body parts, I guess. So things that you're reading that like should be a little bit crude and a little bit vulgar at times because it's a sex scene isn't, because she's giving like different names to these, like completely different names, like a pleasure garden instead of like a woman's down there. And I just thought that was like really funny, and it's actually just made it like, I don't know, it just made it really nice to read, and it just was like a little bit different. You don't really see that in books a lot, so I just thought that was really funny, and it was really nice, and it kind of I don't know, it was like a little bit of Tully's character, I guess, in the writing and in the way she was describing these things. Like, she was a very sensual, sexual person, and the way she describes all of that is just done so beautifully. And it really just, I don't know, it really just shone her character out onto the pages, and I really liked reading those parts because they were just so Tully. I think mostly like this story is about Tully kind of becoming her own mistress and becoming very much in charge of herself and not letting men dictate what she does and what she becomes, I guess, and she's kind of taking charge of her own body at times, and, you know, her own mind, obviously. But again, this is also a love story. It's a bit of a romance story, and it's a very, very sweet one at that. I really, really enjoyed the little romance that was in this. Even though for the most part, the main relationship is, I guess, Tully's relationship with herself. And yeah, I just thought this was just a really, really nice book. It had a lovely historical aspect to it, obviously. It had a really, really fantastic female main character who had a really great story to tell. You're really rooting for her throughout the entire book. The bad people are bad people, and you just really want to see their comeuppance. You really want to see Tully kind of shake them down and get revenge on them for different things that they do. And as I said, the romance story is one that you just ship and one that you root for, and I just really enjoyed all of that. So I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it, and I would highly, highly recommend it to anyone who likes a good historical story with a female lead. Now I'm going to do my giveaway. So HarperCollins were very kind to say that there were 3 copies up for grabs. So I have all the names who entered the giveaway in my cup. So I will pick them out now. This is one. So we have Becky Bookworm, so you can see that there. Got another one now. Let's see what this is Kirsty's Reviews, and I will pick out the last one. That is Books with Wings. There we go. So those are the 3 winners of the giveaway. Thank you everyone for entering, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Again, I really, really recommend this book. This was a fantastic book, and yeah, I would just recommend you read it. I didn't even mention this, but the cover is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I think you should get this book just to have the cover on your bookshelf because it's gorgeous. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!